Hello YouTube, and welcome to my review of the 50th anniversary collector's edition DVD box set. So without further ado, let's look at how this box set is presented. Right, so the box set is presented like the moment. It is designed like the moment, which was sort of a key part in the Day of the Doctor. So it has this sort of wooden sort of look to it, which is very realistic, and it just looks fantastic. I'm not going to talk about the Matt Smith cover because I will reveal what that is later on. On the side we have some Gallifreyan text, and it's sort of embossed, so it is a bit more, well, it sticks out a bit more than this, and it's just got this nice sort of texture to it, and has this all Gallifreyan text around, and we've got the bolt there, which is very nice, and on the back it's just very plain, and on each side we have the Gallifreyan text there. And on the back we have a wonderful image of all the Doctors there, up until Matt Smith there, and it's brilliant. And we've got the TARDIS is off to save Gallifrey, probably my favourite moment from the Day of the Doctor. And it would have been nice if they included that as a sort of poster with the set, so I'll quickly show you what's included in the set. So feel free to pause to know what's included. And on the side, Doctor Who 50th Anniversary Collector's Edition. And then we have the running time for the box set. Can we focus? There we are. And then we have my limited edition number there. I think the sets are limited to 6,000. So yeah, I'll just give you a close look at that. There, it's wonderful, showing all the various TARDISes there. And then we have the very bad sort of photoshopped Doctors there with their counterparts' heads on. Yeah, that less said about that the better, but it was so nice little touch, that scene with the Doctors on the cloud. So yeah, now let's go into the DVDs themselves. So here is the spine for all DVDs with this nice sort of Gallifreyan text. I don't know what it means, but it's still really cool to have on there. So yeah, now let's look at DVD number 1, which we have Matt Smith on there. So on the cover we have Dalek ships, and Matt Smith with his beloved sonic screwdriver, and it just looks really nice with these sort of nice sort of flares of orange there. Shows you the spine. On the back we have pictures from what is included on this DVD, so that's what's included on the discs. It would have made more sense to have Paul McGann on this cover, but still I can see why they put Matt Smith on there, and that will be explained later why I think they put Matt Smith on there. On DVD number 2 we have David Tennant there with these sort of Dalek sort of fighter ships there with some more debris, and then on the back we've got the pictures from Day of the Doctor and the read through there, and that's what's included on DVD number 2. On DVD number 3 we have John Hurt and his TARDIS with some more debris and these nice sort of orange flares, which are present on all the DVDs. Then we have pictures from the time of the Doctor and other things there. And then we have what's included there. Look, Paul McGann is on another Doctor Who DVD cover. Oh, it's brilliant. There we have, on this cover we have got Paul McGann there in a very dynamic pose with some more of these sort of flares, and we have the ship there about to crash, where Paul McGann sadly but brilliantly lost his life, or the 8th Doctor I should say really. Then we have some more debris, and on the back we have an adventure in space and time and pictures from that, and the 5-ish Doctors reboot. It's finally made it to a DVD. And I don't think there's any pictures from the proms, no. So yeah, that's what's included on this DVD. So yeah, really nice artwork, and I love the fact that it's done like the present sort of TARDIS console, or TARDIS, yeah, console, and that they're grey, so they sort of fit in with the classics DVDs, which is just brilliant. So I'm just going to quickly show you the discs. Well, the discs are exactly the same really. They have the same design really, and it is done as the sort of updated seal of Rassilon, and that's present on all 4 DVDs. So that's for discs. Now let's look at the menu, and then I'll go over the new features on this DVD and then my overall thoughts on this set. You know, I said it made sense why Matt Smith was on the front of the box. That's because the actual box itself is like a photo frame. You can put whatever DVD you want on the front, so you can slip that out and it's clear, and you could have either David Tennant as the 10th Doctor, John Hurt as the War Doctor, and finally, by no means least, Paul McGann. You can have the 8th Doctor in front of your 50th collection box set, which is brilliant, and it's really nice to see. And I think I may actually display this with Paul McGann on the front, because it's just nice to see a bit more 8th Doctor merchandise. And I think it's a really unique idea to use this sort of format, because it does give the illusion, when you have all the DVDs in the box set, it does make out like that particular cover is printed on the front, not being clear plastic, which is just brilliant and is a nice little touch to the box set itself, and gives it a really nice sort of presentation feel. So if you don't like John Hurt's Doctor or Matt Smith or what have you, you've got sort of variety, and you can pick and choose what Doctor you would like on your box set to represent the 50th. Okay, so with the standard 3 discs, we agreed to do a TARDIS model flying towards us. With the Series 7 Part 2 sort of vortex, with the Day of the Doctor theme, the sort of end theme music played at the back there, and we've got the TARDIS sort of spinning around, which is really cool. And yeah, this is the same sort of design for the first 3 discs, because disc 4 is different, and I'll get onto that later. So I'll show you the special features, sort of the way the special features is laid out. Okay, so the special features, as you can see, we've got the features there, and we've got the TARDIS model just spinning around there. So yeah, it's presented really nice, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So for disc 4, the menu is completely different. As you can see, it is exactly the same as the first release of Adventure in Space and Time, the singular release. And I really do like the menu on this, because it sort of echoes the first Doctor Who annual. So yeah, let's look at how the special features are presented on this DVD. Okay, so on the first 2 pages you have the same sort of Adventure in Space and Time sort of menu, because these are all the special features for Adventure in Space and Time, as there's quite a few. And the music played in the background is the sort of Adventure in Space and Time sort of theme that used in the title sequence. And when you get to the last page, the 3rd page, it changes to when William Hartnell sees Matt Smith around the TARDIS console, and as you can see, the TARDIS model is now still, and we have the sort of special features on the left hand side. So yeah, it's quite a good menu, but would have been even more cooler if we had the TARDIS spinning like in the other disc sort of menu itself. Okay, so now let's talk about the sort of new features on this box set. Now, the stories themselves have been released before, but now let's look at the sort of new content exclusive to this box set. So the first thing on the first DVD is the Ultimate Guide. Now this was spread out on BBC Three for 2 nights for an hour long each part, so you know, 2 hours worth, and it hasn't been cut, so that's brilliant, because it's a really good documentary on all the Doctors up until Matt Smith. For DVD number 2 we have the sort of 50th anniversary read through. Sadly, this isn't the whole sort of read through. We get little glimpses of the read through itself, but not in full. It would have been great to see the cast and crew sort of react to some of the sort of shocking moments with the TARDIS's saving Gallifrey, but you do get snippets of it, and then you get snippets of the episode, and then behind the scenes and interviews and all that sort of stuff. Also, you get the cinema intros, which is a nice little addition, but for standard DVDs, you know, with this sort of being designed for 3D, the Doctor one anyway, it's sort of, you sort of lose the fun of it, but it still is a great inclusion to have for the box set. The only new feature on this is the deleted scene, well, 2 new features, and that is the deleted scene what was released on the website with Matt Smith and Clara walking out the TARDIS, and then we have the Science of Doctor Who, which is really good if you're into science and stuff, and it is quite an enjoyable thing to testing some of the Doctor Who science. And finally, on disc 4 we have the 5-ish Doctor's reboot, and it is fantastic. Finally see this sort of very good sort of thing written by Peter Davison, and it is highly enjoyable. I recommend any Doctor Who fan to watch it because it is great and it's really nice to watch and it is funny. And then we have Doctor Who at the Proms, which is sadly cut down from the full showing what was shown at Royal Albert Hall. This was the television version, which was cut, or else it would be about 3 hours long, but still it's nice to have it included because it is part of the 50th anniversary celebration. Okay, so now let's go into my overall thoughts on the 50th box set. So the 50th box set has some nice new sort of additions to the sort of singular releases of the DVDs or stories included, such as the 5-ish Doctor's reboot, the Science of Doctor Who with Brian Cox, and the Proms. But to me this set just seems to lack extras, because in the World Tour we were hinted at variations of Capaldi's entrance with the operatic kidneys, and also variations of Matt Smith's regeneration, because there was one variant of the regeneration with Matt Smith without a leg from losing it from the clock tower. I think this would have been an ideal way to put it in the box set, because it's got the time of the Doctor in, so it would have made more sense to put that in. Also, I don't know if they filmed sort of behind the scenes for Night of the Doctor, but that would have been a nice little thing to include, sort of an interview with Paul McGann. Also, they could have done some sort of outtakes for the stories, what didn't make the final cut, and it would have been great if we had some sort of special merchandise to know that this is the 50th box set. Now BBC announced, BBC Shop announced the Sherlock box set, what contains, you know, all 3 series with some exclusive sort of stuff with like a bust and some art cards. Now I know that would bump up the price of the set, but it would have been great to have some sort of exclusive merchandise, so possibly busts of the Doctors, or some sort of like a figure, or, you know, art cards, which would have made it a bit more special, instead of, you know, having just a few little extras added onto the discs and the stories themselves. But I know it would have bumped the price, as I've probably said, but still people would buy it because it's part of the 50th, and if Sherlock isn't that old, and this is 50 years of Doctor Who, and we're just getting this with just a few new sort of added extras, it doesn't really make sense. I know I'm sort of moaning about the box set, but it should, because it's celebrating the 50th year, so it should really have more of a selling point than just a few minor additions. Also, I know I've praised the design, that it's wonderful and it's really clever, but if we look at the 4th Doctor time capsule, it has this sort of magnetic clamp, and when getting the DVDs out, it's sort of very hard to get this out, and I'm scared of ripping it because it would be a real shame to rip it, but I think it could benefit being like the 4th Doctor time capsule with this sort of magnetic clamp, just to make it a more higher quality product, because it already is, but just to make it even that better. So that's basically all the negatives. I've sort of really sort of battered it, but there are pluses, as I've said. You know, the inclusion of the 5-ish Doctors and some new extras, but most extras have been seen online, but still it's nice to have them all rounded off in one box set. Also, the design of the box, so you can either have, you know, the choice of who you have on the cover, so Matt Smith, David Tennant, John Hurt, Paul McGann, so that's a really nice sort of idea with that. And also the price, it is a very good price, £28.99, and you think you would pay, I think, about 40 quid for it, so it does make a lot of sense. And another positive is that it's all sort of rounded off into a nice box set, so it doesn't leave gaps in your collection. So I would recommend this box set for collectors, because for your average sort of fan who just gets the odd DVD, They may want to stay clear of this, but the thing what adds up into it for a collector is the new content. So I would recommend it if you want to get this, and if you haven't got any of the stories, because the stories are fantastic. I love all the stories, and even though the Day of the Doctor isn't the best representation for the 50th, it's still a nice sort of story. But to me, the Adventure in Space and Time is just beautiful, and is definitely one of the highlights for the 50th year. But it would have been great if they included light at the end as well. That would have been a nice little inclusion, because it's sort of the full 50th package, covering all the different ranges, because they have used audios to with DVDs such as the Davros box set. But yeah, I would recommend this for collectors. It's still a very good price, and if you haven't got the stories, then you may want to get this, because it is selling out fast from what I believe, and there are limited stock. So yeah, if you can get it, I would recommend it, because you are getting some really nice sort of extras included on this. So yeah, this has been my review of the 50th anniversary collector's edition, and yeah, join me in my next review, which is a audio review on my 50th not 50th anniversary, my Q&A video.